Organizations spend millions building dense, multi-layered compliance documentation. But in practice, the integrity of an entire network often hinges on a single employee hovering their mouse over a malicious link. Half of all healthcare organizations have experienced spear phishing attacks, indicating how widespread this vulnerability remains, even for entities holding strict regulatory mandates. Abstract policies and theoretical awareness training do not automatically translate into operational defense at the endpoint. To bridge this gap, an organization must operationalize its security across three distinct structural scales. At the top sits the macro layer. This consists of international governance frameworks and standardization policies, such as ISO 27001. Below that is the meso layer, where those policies are converted into systems integration and service management workflows through frameworks like ITIL and NIST. At the foundation is the micro layer, consisting of tactical defense and direct human vulnerability testing. Integrating security across these three scales creates a system where high-level policy and tactical behavior reinforce each other against evolving threats. We can see the necessity of this multi-layered approach by looking at the push for global standard harmonization, using the UAE as a case study. The UAE utilizes the Emirates Authority for Standardization and Metrology to integrate international IT standards directly into the local economy. This pie chart shows a broad survey conducted across UAE organizations, capturing responses from critical infrastructure sectors like oil, health, banking, and government. It reveals an anomaly. Only 8% had achieved full ISO 27001 certification, leaving a 92% non-certified majority. This bar chart contrasts that low certification against general awareness. The blue yes columns show these sectors recognize the value of IT standards. They understand that theoretical value, but encounter severe operational friction when attempting to adopt them. The primary barriers to entry are direct. Achieving certification requires significant financial investment and the hiring of specialized expert personnel. Secondary barriers compound the problem. Organizations face a massive internal resource load just to maintain the ongoing awareness and procedural training required to stay compliant. Large government and enterprise organizations are the ones bearing these costs, investing in ISO certification to secure a competitive advantage in the marketplace. This exposes the specific role of macro frameworks. They define the overarching rules and the ultimate goals for an enterprise's security posture. Macro standards define the criteria for a secure organization, but they don't dictate the specific IT workflows needed to maintain it on a daily basis. Those workflows exist in the middle layer, translating high-level governance into mechanical action. One side is the ITIL framework, managing the service lifecycle and efficiency. The other side is the NIST cybersecurity framework, structured around mitigating cyber risk. Cyber resilience happens by mapping the ITIL processes directly to the NIST framework functions. The first connection point embeds NIST risk assessments directly into the ITIL service design phase. By requiring risk assessment at the earliest phase, security controls are built into new systems before they are ever deployed. The second connection links the NIST Protect function directly into the ITIL change management process. This alignment guarantees that routine IT system updates and patches do not accidentally introduce new security vulnerabilities into the network. The final major connection pairs the NIST Detect and Respond functions with ITIL's incident management. This creates a formalized operational pipeline for mitigating active threats and minimizing the damage of successful cyber attacks. Ultimately, the meso layer takes theoretical compliance documents and converts them into a reactive, synergistic IT service engine. But the most efficient IT service engine has a bypass. The final layer of the architecture addresses the primary vulnerability evading network security: human error. 96% of all phishing attacks are delivered via email. They bypass the firewalls by exploiting the end user directly. Executing the NIST Protect and Detect mandates at this human level requires a formalized, continuous, 4-step phishing simulation program. Step 1 is the baseline test. This initial campaign is kept secret. You have to gauge unprompted susceptibility before a company-wide announcement skews the data. Once the baseline is set, steps 2 and 3 launch a transparent internal communication plan, followed by randomized quarterly phishing campaigns. These campaigns must mirror reality. They utilize the techniques and social data threat actors use to ensure the simulations remain credible. Step 4 involves a review of the analytics to guide targeted training, focusing on a specific shift in the metrics. There is a critical difference between click rates, which measure passive vulnerability, and report rates, which measure active user engagement. High employee report rates are the objective. Every report proves the microlayer generates data, feeding it back into the incident response pipeline. When all 3 layers are fully assembled, we can see exactly how this architecture behaves during a live threat event. A threat scenario begins at the bottom. An end user successfully identifies a suspicious email and clicks report. That action sends a data pulse upward into the systems layer. The report instantly triggers the ITIL incident management workflow, simultaneously satisfying the NIST detect function. Finally, that localized response pushes to the highest governance tier. This logged defense serves as empirical evidence for an ISO 27001 audit, demonstrating that governance policies are consistently active within the network. Investing in audits at the top or running phishing tests below, without structural continuity between them, leaves the enterprise completely vulnerable. Ultimately, true cyber resilience emerges from this unified, evidence-driven alignment of macro leadership, mesosystems, and micro behaviors.